Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We're at the big show. Burnside taking on Brighton. Burnside finishing top of the pile. Brighton finishing second. So the two teams are where they should be. Looking forward to it. There's a little bit of pomp and circumstance before this one. The teams will come out for national anthems and things like that. There's the hills in the background. So Burnside are 3/4 of the way to a Grand Slam. I don't know whether that's been done before. Here we are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. No, I apologise. I'm here with Alex Rockabura. There he is. Oh, look, the name is like on you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know. It's like we do this on purpose. I am quite tired. It is now game number 4.
Wow.
The last game was an absolute barn burner. It was fantastic. Burnside, you would think, and I've said this to a couple of people, if Burnside play the way that they played last week, I don't think there's many teams that are going to stand by them, as Burnside are coming out. Led out today by Kieran Sambrook. I mean, whatever happens in this one, you have to. There's got to be a massive hat tip to Tom Hankey, no?
Oh, my respect for that bloke as a coach and as a person is huge. He can not only take teams but take clubs to the next level, and I think here, and if you get people that want to buy into what he wants to bring to the table, you're gonna be a very successful club. And Hankey himself will probably not want to take all the limelight for it.
Of course he won't. But you do have to.
Oh yeah. Every time I've spoken to Hankey about rugby, I learn something new, which is huge. But yeah, he's got the Midas touch, I think, and just watching them play, you can tell his influence on the game, especially when it comes to the first grade.
And Brighton are coming out, and obviously you can't talk about Tom Hankey without talking about Richard Wasley, who's been absolutely outstanding in the time that he's been coaching. Also, he kind of flies under the radar a little bit. We haven't really spoken about him or to him much. I've had conversations with him, but Kevin LaRue is a big South African. I think he looks after the forwards more than anybody else. He's been really good for Brighton as well.
I think having, Wasley there and Kevin just has really done wonders for their first grade. Not only really good blokes, but just sort of understand what you need to do in a first grade team to be successful. And if you're looking at premierships in the last couple of years, the proof's in the pudding with them. And they've just got really good rugby intelligence. And they're another couple of blokes you talk to about rugby. You learn something new every time you talk to them. So it's going to be really interesting today. But I'm actually really looking forward to it.
So our men in the middle today, Dave Gunning will have the whistle. The men with the flags, Peter Jackson and Johan Pienaar. They've been your team of 3 all the way through. We will have national anthems and stuff. We'll try and get the timing right. We also should, I just want to point out, there's people we don't normally talk about, the managers of the two teams. Mike Gunn for Burnside and Thomas Roberts for Brighton. Henry McGregor is looking after their fitness for Burnside, and the wonderful Kev Beckett looks after Brighton. And the managers Paul Feary and Jane Fishwick, who've been absolutely fantastic all through the year. The stand-ish for the national anthem. It's going to take me a while to get up there. I'm getting old, you know. So national anthem done and dusted. That means only one thing. We are getting ready to play. Brighton, winners last year, Burnside. Not there last year, but they were the year before. So this is the decider over the last 3 years. This is third time in 3 years these teams have met each other. Also have to have a massive tip of the hat to the Rugby Union South Australia. I just want to get you all, while you're all watching, Carl Jones, Lisa Kenny, Pete Garden, who's been absolutely outstanding, Jason Hyam, Neil, whose surname I don't know.
Tunner, I believe. Is that?
And of course, the one and the only Rose Jackson. First little knock on from Brighton. And we get what we got in the women's game last week. We got the best back in the game, taking on the best forward in the game. Keanu Eliapa, who is wearing the number 12 today. And Reece Gerd, who's wearing the number 8 for Brighton. Absolutely wonderful story, Reece Gerd.
Yeah, I was quite happy to see him win the Don Smith. Sorry. Yeah, it was good. Unexpected, but as a bloke that always rolls his sleeves up and rips in, I'm really happy for him.
Hodel back on the inside. Takes a couple with him. Immelman will find Loper. Immelman again out to Walton. Walton will straighten. Immelman to Kyria. Brown tries to find a way through. Kyria with a step, trying to find a way through, beats a couple into the 22. Immelman, Brown again, pops out the back. Probably wasn't quite ready for it. Walton, short ball. And forward ball from Callum Walton. Well, it's been interesting because throughout the day the Burnside fans have been up and about from the word go, and I've been talking to a couple of them and we've counted it down. We've said 1 to go, well 3 to go, 2 to go, we're now 1 to go, and there's nerves in this Brighton crowd.
Yeah, I think for a Burnside team to be in first position going into the finals and then being pretty much your favourites, it's sort of unheard of for them. But if anything, it's good for them to know that they're still up against a really solid Brighton team that will rock up on a day, and if you're not ready to roll, they'll bash you.
And I tell you what, you talk about experience. Travis Collier in at halfback. I think in the last couple of times we've seen Brighton play, he hasn't started at halfback. We've got to love Travis Collier in at 9. I think the only reason he wears the headgear is to hide the salt and pepper underneath it.
Still a pretty good looking bloke for his age, I reckon.
Jack Jenkins just trying out the defensive line. There is Gerd. Will take on Brown. Talking about experience, Logan Brown back in the number 2 shirt. It's big hits already. A little bit of a loose carry from Sam T. So he's gone backwards, but we'll carry on. Collier. Fine Gerd. Phillips. Another absolutely wonderful story, Jaden Phillips. And a penalty. This is starting, it's got a test match feel to it at the beginning, hasn't it, Alex?
I'm not going for either team, but I'm nervous.
Yeah,
I just want to see. It's interesting. Right, the game. I feel like the game's going to go super quick. It's going to be a really quick, fast-flowing game. Hopefully, the weather stays nice and dry.
Satala will miss the first one. Ed Wilkes will fire it. Satala is underneath it. Nothing's going to put that young man off. Over halfway. First real chance to see Brighton with ball in hand. Plummer. Collier again. Looking to be a very forward-dominated start to this game from Brighton as Gerd holds on too long and Kieran Sambrook will win. Tremaine Butler out in the 13 channel. But there's a weird feeling all around the ground that I think it needs someone to just poke a hole in the can, as it were, and just get this one going.
I think watching the last couple of games today, in terms of just the first 10, 15 minutes, you know, Burnside have really just come out and just gone from the first kickoff, whereas here it's probably been the more balanced either team, whereas the last couple of games, Burnside have really just come out and gone 100 miles an hour.
Brown had to go and get it, but get it he did. Immelman again. Kyria Eliipa shows one, then we'll find Green. Green will beat one and tidied up by Gerd. Kyria just trying to find a gap, but Plummer does well. Little knock on from Plummer just in the tackle. Feels a little bit desperation, and Burnside are getting to and beyond the gain line. Is this the first? It's not the first scrum we've seen, is it? No. No, it's not. I remember seeing this shot before. There's Fred Samuel, who's made it all the way from Tonga this morning, so he did very, very well.
On the red eye from Nuku'alofa, I think.
Fourth time in 5 years. I'd also be interested to know if we've got any historians watching, has it ever happened where a team has won every grand final on a day?
I can't remember in my lifetime, which is 31 years, that it's happened. But, you know, the first 5 or 6 you don't really know anyway. But lately I don't think it's happened. But, yeah, if anyone knows, it would be very interesting to find out. But that's a huge thing for a club to do that well.
Kyria. Oh, I tell you what, jeez. Ed Wilkes intercepted the interception. Kyria will snipe. Immelman. Hodell will step and straighten, just held onto his ankle. Tremaine Butler, that's Nicholas Simpson is down in backfield, but Brighton, can they get away? Yes, they can. Flag stays down. Arm goes up. It's all very subdued. There goes the arm. Now they can celebrate. Kyria, the halfback. Lord. Tremaine Butler's eyes will have lit up.
The amount of hang time in that ball too, you'd be loving that at 15. You're just literally there, cherry pick it and through. But great starter. You know, obviously did what they needed to do, score in the corner.
You've got to make that tackle. I think it's Tremaine Butler. No dramas with that one. He looks good. Pine Pino right in the right spot. We haven't forgotten the under-18s, Darryl. Thank you for the reminder, though. They have got 5 teams. I'm sure they've had other junior sides in grand finals as well, but the under-18s, that doesn't look great for Nick Simpson. That looks like end of day for him. The way he's being brought off, I don't think you're going to see him come back on.
No.
Well, he's got to drop kick it. He didn't even know it had come off the tee.
So in the zone. That's that's unfortunate. You know, when it blows off the tee, had that happen to me last weekend, and it's always a tough ask to hit that drop goal.
I think it's Tremaine's mum. It's either his mum and his auntie, and I don't want to get it wrong. But Joy Hedawini Butler is with us, as she usually is, watching Tremaine.
Yeah. Kia ora.
There's Speak Maori Week as well over in New Zealand.
Oh.
So Trying to keep the language alive. Marshall gets past a couple. Immelman. Out the back to Wilkes. He'll, oh, that's not bad. The old torpedo. Satala is there. Eliippa is underneath it. Keanu Eliippa will send it infield to Ellis. Not sure what that is.
Hit after the ball, maybe?
Kick or kick. Was it a late hit on Satala? There's certainly no cause for panic. Here we'll see. Oh, he looked for him as well. Did look for him. If he hadn't looked for him, I think he would have been all right.
Interesting, just where that call would have come from. Was it the AR or was it the man in the middle?
It would be the AR. Oh, sensible line out, and Phillips will get it back. Phillips just lost his footing. Walton was hunting. Collier directing traffic. That's what you want. You want a man who's been holding the reins for a couple of grand finals. Geez, Ellis gets through a lot of work defensively, the number 20. An arm has come out for another penalty. Yep. Offside, maybe? Yep, offside is the call. Gerd is there, they're going to tap move. Oh, pre-bind. It's making old things new again.
I haven't seen that one in a while, but, you know, I'm all for it. Just grab a mate and go with him.
Brown at the back. Phillips will normally find himself with hands on ball at this point. It's moving. Burnside have done well to disrupt it. Definitely will have called the maul, so Brighton have to use it. Use it once as the call. It's not going to go anywhere, so Burnside will hold that one up. I mean, I'm not a forward. We talked about the fact that both you and I wanted to stay away from as far as possible from that mess. But yeah. I don't think there's any better feeling for a forward that when it's a collapsed maul that they can just lie there. They don't have to roll away.
Yeah, look, I don't want to get the forwards listening offside, but, you know, there's nothing more than a forward loves to just then lie on the ground.
Just lying on the ground and being allowed to.
Definitely.
And you get a benefit from it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's like being paid to sleep, isn't it? It's a big, big scrum for these two. It's gone early. Marshall does a sensible thing. He almost has his pocket picked that. Little knock on and a Brighton scrum with a decent blindside on this side. And it's Max Priestley on this side. Been cutting his teeth over in Scotland. Had to come back because of the pandemic and then can't get back because of the pandemic. Played at a decent level over there.
Yeah, you'd think with his size and ability, you'd be looking to go right here. Yeah, big fella. Smacked me a few times actually while we've been playing. But yeah, no, really, really good player, strong ball runner, and intelligent.
Hey, look, if you can play Scotland, if you can play rugby in a Scottish winter,
oh yeah,
well, you're doing all right.
Yeah,
this will be summer. Well, Gerd decides he wants to go. There's a wall of double blue in front of Max Priestley now, so they'll pick and drive. That's the 5 metre line that you can see. He's done very well to hold on to that, Jack Butler. Collier happy for the big boys to do the work. Burnside being disciplined so far. Arm out, penalty. Not rolling away.
Fair bit of space there out wide for Brighton if they look to just go simple cut to 12 and then play out the back there. You got Tremaine Butler and Robbie Ferguson there. They do a little bit of damage out
very
wide.
Good finishes out wide. Still one of the best finishes I've ever seen from Tremaine Butler at Old Collegians.
Oh yeah, don't remind me about that one. But yeah, he's no, he's a great finisher. He'll let you know when he scores tries too.
So Jimmy Hamilton has come and given us a result that we want, but we'll come back to that in a second as Brighton continue to knock on the Burnside door. Plummer, Jones gets through the middle. It's going to be a tough stop from there, Jack Jenkins.
You back that bloke from that distance any day.
Yeah, I mean, if he's allowed to run a line from that, he's going to be a tough stop. See whether he's... Yeah, just a little show stopped Green.
Yeah.
And then Hoddle and Wilkes just got each other in each other's way.
From experiences trying to tackle that bloke, you either get him around the legs low, or if you go high on him, you're in a bit of strife because he's just such a strong ball runner and he attacks the line really well.
So Jimmy Hamilton has come. He says he's watching from Scotland. 1985, Brighton did the Grand Slam. First, seconds, thirds and fourth. In 1983, 85 and 2008, Brighton won all three grades. Well, that's impressive, but when are we going back? 1985, it's been a while since it's been done.
Well, 1985, wasn't around for that, so I didn't know really. Yeah, okay. But that's pretty amazing for a club to win that many grades. You really, across the board, you really have to have something special.
Well, the honours board in there. If you ever get a chance to see the honours board in Rugby Union SA headquarters, there's a lot of Brighton on there. Plummer will raise the assistant's arms into the air. Seven points to 5. 15 minutes gone, and you're right. It didn't feel like 15 minutes. See whether the Brighton crowd can, the Burnside crowd can get themselves involved in this one. I spoke to some of the girls, and they said definitely the noise that came from them did help. That's one heck of a tackle. Kyra Hui. Walton had to make that tackle. Make it, he did. They have got space out on that left-hand side. Jenkins decides to straighten. Will break the first tackle. It's going to come back. That's why you run the cut pass, I imagine. They struggle to get the big fella down, but finally they do. Sambrook just making a nuisance of himself. Gerd tries to find a way through. Lamsam gets there. Butler again. Big, strong challenge. Collier sends it into midfield to Tarzi. Another pre-bind from Brighton. Butler getting more work done. Phillips, nice feet inside, will beat Ellis. Collier to Brown. Brown will just go nice and easy. Collier, Plummer. Oh, the bobble helped him. Yeah, holding on. Is this becoming one of the biggest rivalries in rugby at the moment? This Brighton-Burnside rivalry.
Yeah, Brighton-Burnside definitely. You know, maybe you sprinkle a bit of old coals in there every now and then, but it definitely is in terms of consistent top 1-2 sides. Yeah, in the past probably 5-6 years.
As far as local derbies go, that old Colts Burnside one is always going to be there. But
in terms of grand final days, these blokes would know each other pretty well.
Yeah, it was the fourth time in 5 years, I think. It was that 1 year that Old Collegians came and it's put a little bit of a...
Yeah, we came in last year, missed out, but look, I think I commentated the one with you in 2019.
Oh, Eliapa! It's true, he's got one on the inside, one on the outside. Max Priestley comes back and tries saving interception. Eliyippa showing his absolute class as Plummer looks to clear. Wilkes gets a hand on it and keeps it in. Dangerous counter-attacking runner, Ed Wilkes. Really, really good at getting ahead of his support players to restart. Sal Loper finds his way across. Immelman will find Marshall. Marshall, little bit upright, running into Jacob France. Immelman to Brown, crossing. Not going to get away with that one. And it's the most... There is Eliyippa, I tell you what. Take a bow. In the words of the Scotsman, tick-a-boo.
Really great line break there from Keanu. The bloke's got spiders on him, and especially when he bounces on the outside like that. You get a half plant, he just knows to get that extra metre outside you, and he gets a half chance and he's through. But huge cover tackle there from Max, or cover intercept.
Yeah.
But yeah, some good footy.
If we got to see that replay again, you see him talking. I wonder whether he's calling to Keanu.
Yeah.
Because Keanu might have just thrown to the voice. You can see him having a chat with him.
If anything, yeah, smart footy, yeah. But you're going to get a lot from Keanu in that sort of situation today. He's going to go up the line, and if you're not there, he's going to go right around you.
He picks his moments, doesn't he? And I like him a little bit wider with a little bit more time. Collier a little bit wayward, but Butler manages to tidy it up. Collier again will find Gerd. Jaden Phillips is 3-4 players trying to, he's got a release, he didn't. Priestley and Walton, two South Australians who plied their trade overseas. Plummer again, Walton almost got a touch on it. Wilkes is going to get a chance to run back again. Oh, he's done Priestley. Couldn't quite get past Phillips, but Max Priestley made to look ordinary. Ball was out and Plummer got hold of Immelman. And both sides arguing the toss on that one. Whatever you saw, the assistant has seen it as well. I didn't see anything. I was looking at... So we'll see whether we can see. So he's hit Logan. He's just had a chat with him. Yeah, hit the ruck, no arms. And that's what your ARs are for, because Mr. Gunning would have been looking not at that. So that's why you need your ARs. So time off at the moment. So there's Phil Badcock, who joined us, is just quieting down the Burnside crowd. So there's been some stuff yelled. At our officials, we understand it. It's a big day at Sheep Stations, but it's a first for me. Collier trying to find a way through. Gets the offload to Priestley out to the 10-metre line. Callum Walton absolutely cleans up Travis Collier on the way back through. Collier finally gets back up and gets there. Butler, Satala trying to find a way through. Cops a high one. But it's a first to see the crowd told off. That's shocking from Satala. He'll want that one back.
Love Sus, but he's going to be in a bit of strife tomorrow on Silly Sunday, I reckon, in terms of fines.
It's like it's not like no one was watching it. Oh, making up for it almost immediately, Nathan Satala. Oh, Logan Brown over on that side as well. She's knocked out, gone forward. So we do have comments open, and I'm not going to tell everyone off, but let's just settle down on the referees and watch the rugby. Just to clarify, in the reserve grade game, I did speak to the officials about the punch from Carl Edgar, and they saw the swing, but they didn't see contact. So as far as they were concerned, it was all handbags, which is why nobody went. As they said, definitely if they saw the contact, it would have been a red, but they can only give what they see and understand that. We watched it a million times. Great scrum again from Brighton, but good work from Burnside to get it out. Ellie Ipper will drop it back inside to Hodel. He's met in the backfield. Ellie Ipper, quick hands, Wilkes. Quick hands again. It's a couple of times that Priestley just hasn't set his feet and he's been stepped.
Jason, you're not alone.
Hodel now gets his legs going. Somebody who really settled into it. I remember watching the Anzac game between these two. I think it was his first game. Lamsam! Phillips, great offload from Lamsam. Green is there. Real short side. Now they've got a wide open field that they can deal with and some dangerous runners on this open side. You would suggest it has to go. He's over the line! Burnside get their second one of the day. Sol Loper gets over there. Just powerful. And that's underneath Jaden Phillips, and Jaden Phillips has been absolutely fantastic defensively for a long, long time. Just couldn't get him that time.
I think what Burnside have at the moment is that they get into the third and fourth phase and they actually get quicker as they attack.
Yeah.
Normally teams are starting to slow down, lose numbers, but if anything, they get to their fourth, fifth phase, they start getting into some real attacking energy, and it's just shown there. They've gone from one side of the field to the other. So it'll be interesting to see how Burnside Brighton react to this.
Kick is up, the flags stay down. That's 2 from 2 for Ed Wilkes, and that, you know.
Okay.
Talked about points win premierships and 2 missed kicks. Oh, there he goes. We all love to see a referee falling over, don't we?
Let's go, Burnside. Let's go.
High hanging kick into the sun. Kyria does well. Oh, he's got half a gap. He's got all of the gap. Brown is on his outside. Then he can get it back. He does get it back. Now he's going to look to kick across the middle. How's the bounce? Eliippa couldn't quite get there, and Priestley again has come back, and the kick was an interesting option.
So they managed to win it back.
They have got it back. Brown again. Can't quite find a way through. Hodel. Loper, the try scorer. Immelman again. Kyria. Walton. Lamsam. Lamsam will look to straighten. Struggles to Get free, can't get free. Then they will come back this way. Marshall trying to find a way through. Can't find a way through. Hands on. Oh, they got away with one for not releasing. That's that half break. And tell you what, there's not many back rowers who would fall over trying to tackle a 10. This is the one. You've got numbers, young man. I know what he's trying to do, but they had an overlap. They had numbers. Another missed touch. Fraser Green this time. Phillips makes his tackle. Immelman. Brown. Immelman. Curia. Eliupa. Inside Paul to Wilkes. Chest to chest with Plummer. Immelman at the back. Sambrook shows it inside. Then we'll just straighten. Good counter ruck from Brown. Immelman. Marshall again. Lamsam again. He's not going to get that. Callum Walton just saw it sneak forward. I said last week that, yeah, it's a little forward. I said last week that it doesn't matter who Burnside played last week, they would have won. And I tell you what, they are looking in absolute imperious form again today. Have you ever seen half an hour of rugby where Brighton have looked so toothless?
Yeah, it's a tough one for Brighton because Burnside have just come out and gone, look, this is how we're going to play. And if you either want to stick with us or don't stick with us, we're going to go either way. So,
oh, Plummer, it's come off the side of the boot. Kyria, it might work. It's bounced into the arms of Walton. Immelman. Ellis. Hodel. Shouts of give to my right. They can still go. Eliupa. Wilkes straightens, tries to get there. Tries to reach out, not quite there. That's the try line that you can see. Kyria stands in at halfback. Just puts it down and gets the try. Cheeky one from Kyria. But they all count the same. The shortest try I think he'll ever score in his career.
you don't see that often. You don't see that red line just pop up in front of you as a 10 coming into the ruck there and just go, look, I'm just going to dot it down. But hey, smart, knew where the line was.
He was close, you know. And Priestley again there has managed to get his foot under it. Defensively, Max Priestley has been absolutely outstanding. There's nobody on this far side. There's nobody there. I mean, I don't know even if you had somebody there that you would have been able to stop it, but nobody's come around to cover that blind side.
That's just smart footy there, really.
Really smart football. A lot smarter than his kick. Third time lucky for Wilkes.
Yeah. He's got his kicking boots on.
Having a look at the top of the trees, he started that at the left-hand post and the wind took it. So I think above the stadium, the wind is blowing.
Let's go, Burnside, let's go! Let's go, Burnside!
17 points to 7s. 7 minutes and stoppage time to go in the first half. The Burnside have just looked faultless again. Kyria will pluck it out of the air and then send it back with interest, right back to around halfway. So Burnside will have Brighton will have a line out on halfway.
Somebody get through!
Free kick. Not sure what for, but we'll take it. Discussions around what they want to do. Gerd will tap it. Logan Brown. Good challenge from Sambrook. Collier will go short side. Xavier Tarzing. Collier will find France. Then Gerd. I think they just want some possession of the ball for a little bit. Brighton. Butler. They had a period where they were the better of the two sides. Gerd again. It's a good clean-up. Better from Brighton, just getting some continuity going. And I think what's impressive and what's important is that unless they got a message from the sideline, a little bit of a knock on, it'll be a Burnside score. And unless they got a message from the sideline, that's a senior player saying, hang on, let's just settle down here. We've got a long time to go.
I think
let's
it's
just play some possession rugby.
If you're getting caught on the back foot a little bit, sometimes the best thing to do is just say, look, fellas, let's roll our sleeves up, let's go tight, and let's try and work our way up the field. And they were doing that quite well. Unfortunate knock on there, but that's just pressure coming back on.
It's absolutely tiny, the knock on, but it is a knock on.
But then the pressure coming from Burnside's just next level. So you really have to look at handling errors and stuff like that, because that's what they're producing.
Yeah, they have to have possession of the ball. This Burnside team have been absolutely, as I said before, faultless. Kyria, Hodel. Really Ipper dangerous on the outside, but Hodel will go straight and Jenkins will make the tackle. Marshall. Lope will find the ground and Kyria will cough that one up. Jacob France will take on Sambrook. Collier, Gerd, Plummer, Butler. I think they've got issues with Jack Jenkins in the backfield. Sam glancing, well there is Jenkins, he got himself into first 5-8, he's a bit proppy, they've got numbers out there. Satala beats one and gets the ball away to Ferguson. Ferguson, he's dragged down and it's a wonderful covering tackle. I think it's Callum Walton who managed to get across there. Sambrook beats one. Counter ruck is big from Brighton. Ball was out, that's excellent work. Here's Sam T who did all of that hard work. Gerd will fire it out to Butler. Butler. It's away from Samuel. Slow to reorganise Brighton, and it's all the big boys. All the salad eaters managed to find themselves in a breakdown. Collier just needs to let them reset and settle. Jenkins. Out the back to T, and it was T who's been absolutely momentous in the last couple of minutes. France. First up tackling from Burnside is, again, almost faultless. Plummer, Butler. Butler tries to run around the outside, gives it back inside to Priestley. Priestley look for a gap that close. Good offload to Gerd. Ball still alive. Butler gets inside the 5. Hands on from Lamsam. Illegally, the only thing I can think is he was second in. A little bit of ebb and flow to this one now, because Brighton now really starting to come back into it. Gap closed quite quickly, but great offload. Talked about treaded on thin ice, that Kaira Hui. If he connected with that, He might have found himself sat down for a little bit. They've just gone straight at it. Going to come back their way. They're going to look to knock on the door again.
Playing advantage.
Can't get there. The Brighton defence has been, the Burnside defence has been so low. Someone trying to burrow their way through, can't get there. There's hands on again in there from Burnside. That's a cynical one for mine from, who the number 4 is? Yeah, he's got his cards out. Here's the number 4. It was cynical. It wasn't a great look, to be fair. So they're going to have to go the first part of the second half with a player less.
Great camera angle here.
Of course, they go the other side. Jacob France, he's almost close to the line. Now they're going to look this way. Gerd. Good ball from Gerd. That's a Priestley. And they will hit back as soon as they get the one-man advantage. They need finishing, and Priestley's managed it. Not the biggest reaction you'll ever hear, but that's because they're all over there, standing in the sun, covering their eyes. It's good hands, and I tell you, they need finishing those ones.
That's just good backing your pick and go structure and just sucking them in so you can go wide.
Yeah, good hands, cut out pass to Brown as well. I think he probably was looking at where the winger was. Winger had lined up on Brown. If the winger had stayed with Priestley, he probably would have played the short ball. Gotta have your decision makers in those positions. 12 points to 17 with the kick to come. Plummer with the kick. Right in front of the Burnside faithful. Well, Walton wasn't far away, and Plummer's done well to stay focused. Flags stay down though. And that is half-time, ladies and gentlemen. 17 points to 12. Just the try without the conversion between it.
Probably one of the hardest blokes to charge down is Plummer, just because his setup, it's really hard to pick. Obviously, he sets with his hands and then he moves. It's really hard to pick, but I think in that case, I think he might be a bit hard done by his approach there. But in saying that, it always comes down to the referee's interpretation of when he's actually set and when he's moved.
What we might do for the boys upstairs, if they just lock one off, I think they'll lock a shot off for us. We might just stay and have a chat.
Yeah.
It's just 40 minutes gone. It's just 5 points the difference between them, and there was a moment you could almost split that half into thirds. First third was a pretty nervy sort of jab, counter jab kind of affair, and then Burnside just found an extra gear. But Brighton, as Brighton is wont to do, certainly came back, and they've dragged themselves to within 5 points. I think the yellow card was definitely there. There's no question of it. You can't call this one.
I think with Burnside, they've really backed their structure and where they want to attack, and it's really shown. But with Brighton, I think they know that they're in for an arm wrestle here, and they're really going to have to rip in, and it's not going to be pretty for them. But the way they get into Burnside's head is by disrupting them. But Burnside obviously back their structure, back what they want to do. So it's going to be really, really interesting. Just glad the weather's held off and they can play some quick rugby still. But yeah, you can't really call it at the moment.
No, not at all. Just going through some of your questions. The junior games, unfortunately, no, we won't be doing them live. It's not something we've done. It's just around the implications of broadcasting minors live, essentially, is the only reason we don't do it. There may be, I think they're being recorded, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. It's great that we've got so many people. Oh, we are recording the juniors tomorrow. They will be recorded. They'll be available somehow,
but not live.
It won't be live, but they'll be recorded. And I think that's because we just don't put it out there. If you want it, you've got to go and get it. It's going to be an interesting one. I think if you put yourself in the Brighton huddle, possession is king in the second half. You talked about Burnside and their momentum. Without the ball, they can't do that.
And I think, they'd be loving trying to get the ball back, because then they can just nestle into their pod structure, suck everyone in, and then they go wide, and they've got the attacking tools to do it. But look, either team couldn't really be too unhappy with their performance so far. It's a grand final. Everyone's going to be nervy. Things don't always come off, but it's always about the blokes that just rip in. Can be ugly.
They can be. It hasn't been so far.
No.
It's been a good game of rugby so far. Like you said, it's gone in the blink of an eye. Just looking at bench players as well. I know Burnside have had an absolutely massive day. So there's young Mr. Delaney, who's on the bench, the halfback, who he basically played the full 70 minutes in the reserve grade game, but we may see him. It's the usual thing to change your halfback out with 20 minutes to go. Chris Walton's there as well. He didn't play the full reserve grade game, but he's had a run around already. Brighton have had a big rest, so they'll have a fresh bench. Whether that will play anything or anybody,
I think, it's interesting. If I was Burnside, I'd be happy with the 15 blokes that I've got out there for the 80 minutes. I know, obviously, with your bigger blokes, your forwards, you really have to sort of check how they are. They're going to play 80, they're going to play 76. But I wouldn't change anything in their backs unless they obviously have injuries. Tactical-wise, I think the blokes they've got on there so far are really good. You know, you've got Immelman at 9, who I think is a really good player and can be really influential. So I wouldn't really change much. Same with Brighton, but for them, they've come off the back of playing us last week, and it was a tough game. We bashed each other, so they'd be looking a bit bruised and battered. But those, like, if you back Brighton up against the wall, 9 times out of 10, they'll push back. So it's going to be interesting, really interesting.
Interesting is just how loose. I think that was Kairahui. Just how loose he is on grand final day. Was it Kairahui or was it Kiria? It was. I think it might have been Kiria. Just absolutely loose as in a grand final. No dramas whatsoever. I tell you what, it's good because I spoke to you about it as I arrived. You've been given a slip to vote you 3-2-1. I tell you what, right now, that's one of the toughest decisions in world rugby at the moment. Nobody really is standing head and shoulders above anybody else. I mean, I've been impressed with Kieran Brown. I think he's been really, really good. And I've had many a back and forward with Kieran Brown but I've seen him do the simple things today. Yeah. Which is all you want from him. Elliopper, obviously, with his break has been outstanding. Max Priestley, his defence has been outstanding. He's also got his try. I mean, it would be tough to do a 3-2-1 today. I don't envy you, is what I'm saying.
I think it's tough. Me, obviously, being a back, I look probably more so on the backs' performances than forwards. But you got to take your hats off to some of the back rowers from both sides, because they're the type of blokes that you don't see them because they're in a ruck and they're winning footy.
I'm just gonna, Jenkins is kicking the ball, and I think halftime came at the right time for him. I think he wants to make sure that he could have got it in the hands of Kev Beckett.
Kev, the magic man, he'll tape you up and let you go.
Oh, they're rising high. Priestley. What a big, strong run from Sam T. Jenkins, it will find its way to Butler and then out to Satala. Silky Satala takes 2 to bring him down. He's asked for the penalty as Collier. I don't know whether he's going to get it. Brown, short ball to Butler. Short ball to T. Will momentum get him? Not quite. Going to fire out to that far side. Priestley's got a huge amount of work to do. It's good defence in the end. Oliver Milnes has come on. I think that is a change for Brighton. Where that change is, I'm not entirely sure. Definitely seeing the number 19 shirt out there. Brighton are going to go back to their pick and drive, which worked for them towards the end of the first half, and they still have the one-player advantage. Good counter ruck from Burnside. Can't put his, so he's got this. Tell you what, oh, you could have picked either way there.
Yeah, could have gone either way, that one. But yeah, he's obviously seen that that's...
Nigel's been playing long enough to know that if you're not the tackler, you can't put your hands on it. Surely he's been playing long enough to know now.
Always comes down to interpretation by the referee. So, you know, if you can get away with it, you can get away with it.
Yeah. So it'll be a Burnside lineup. That is the 10-metre line. So 60 metres out. Good maul defence from Brighton. Immelman again. Good service to Kyria. Kyria's going to try and find some seagulls behind Priestley. Oh, he slipped and it's gone backwards. No, he's gone forwards. Sniper got him. Can't play him the boots. He's wearing the long studs. Not entirely sure what happened there. Just lost his footing.
Another one could have gone either way.
Could have gone either way, but Max kind of gave himself up.
Yeah.
Broke his own ankles. So in front of the Brighton faithful. He's in his ear, isn't he? You can see Collier just talking to Immelman. Lamsam does well because it was moving backwards. Kyria out the back to Rahui. Wilkes. He's so good at making the first tackle a miss, said Wilkes. Kyria. Oh! He's given the penalty, which I think is a little bit unfortunate. Because I felt like that was in the act of the tackle. But a penalty will be a penalty. Just Travis getting a little elbow from Mr. Immelman as well. So Wilkes is going to have a shot. Just to give him a 2-score lead. Very classy player. Not seen Ed Wilkes play before today. Before last week, to be honest.
Yeah, no, he's one of your big attacking fullbacks, you know, and has the ball on the string in terms of kicking.
Yeah, very impressive young man. He's driven that one straight through the middle. No need to follow that one, Edward. Just pick your tee up and go back.
That one never looked like missing.
No.
Great strike. I love that. Boom.
Yeah.
You straight
Head
away.
down.
Yeah.
Just go and pick your tee up, Ed. Doesn't even look
I
back.
don't think they even had the flags up. He's already running back.
Yeah, love it. You know, though, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Jenkins will restart. Kyria Brown underneath it. Oh, wow, he has a welcoming committee of Collier and Priestley. He's knocked it on.
Big attacking opportunity here for Brighton. They really got to do something.
And they need to
here.
score early. They need to score just because they are a momentum. Jeez, Kyria Brown was met with.
But he's taken that just inside the 22, and he's been met the second he caught the ball. So in terms of your kick chase there, that is, you know, next to.
Hey, one of them is Travis Collier.
Yeah.
We love you, Travis. He knows I love him. Collier. Jenkins into midfield. Collier again, and just in danger. They're all a little bit keen to get moving forward, and they were just in danger of getting in each other's way then. Sam T inside.
Good pick up there from Logan.
Really good from Logan Brown. And look how far he's gone with double blues hanging all over him. Another pick and drive. And they've been happy to just settle into this, Brighton. Is that a turnover? Lamson got hold of that? I think he might have, you know. That is a turnover.
Oh, sneaky. He's got in there and he's won the ball back.
Oh, and speaking of winning the ball back, it's then gone the other way, so it's a maul, but held up. This time off, he just wants to set an injury for Logan. So does he never get to ground? He doesn't get to ground, and Lamsam's got in underneath and picked his pocket.
He does some freakish stuff that you don't think sort of possible, but he manages to get in there and around, and yeah.
Well, when you consider that I first met Nigel in 2011 in the Black Falcons program, and he has never fallen away. 10 years. Obviously would have been playing before that as well. He is ageless, that man.
I wouldn't know how old he is.
No one knows how old he is.
23 maybe.
Legend has it he just arrived at Parkinson Oval one day.
No way.
No one knows his background or his history. Lamson will go. I don't know that Plummer was back 10. Oh, it's a turnover, and Gerd gets to go. Has a run at Kyria. Gets to ground. They've got numbers. If they look left, they haven't got the numbers anymore. Brown will take on Lamson. Post is kind of getting in the way. Sam T. I tell you what, Freddie Salmon wasn't sure whether he could go or not then. Penalty, not releasing. That's a big one for Burnside. As the naughty chair is empty, I think we're back to parity. I was going to say that's not an easy kick from them. That's not an easy take for Butler. Trying to find a way through. Oh, now it's gone out. I think he's very lucky that didn't go forward. Cameron Green. He's given a penalty to Burnside. Oh no, it's just marking the line. I was very confused as to what was going on then. Lots of movement and finally went to the front. Good. Samuel is off his feet. He's got to let go. He held on to it as long as he possibly could. So there's been a change. Has Collier come off?
Yeah, Collier's off.
Oh, they called that early.
Another good pick up there.
Great pick up. The giving Conor McCarthy is going to get a good half an hour to stamp himself on this game. Plummer, Jenkins, Butler. Another change. Satala. Inside to Priestley. Manages to get away from a couple and gets the offload away to Butler. Brighton is still going to have the ball. McCarthy to Plummer to Gerd. Short ball, Butler. Gets the offload away to France. He's dealt with just inside the 5. Huge defense again from Burnside. Lamsam really slow to get out of there. Jaden Phillips will pick and go. Another little pick and drive. They're over. The arm goes up. 3 points in it. Logan Brown.
Tough one there for Burnside. They weathered the storm for a good, 10 minutes in that
time,
in that 22. But Brighton, once they get that pick and go going, really hard to stop. That's their bread and butter inside the 22.
And if you look as well, they've actually taken out Fred Samuel and Blair Marshall in that one, the pick and drive beforehand. You lose Fred Samuel and Blair Marshall. And then they're all very, very narrow.
It's a tough one with repeat efforts like that. When you're defending a pick and go, you're going to get tired. They're going to grind you down.
And Logie Burr, as he is affectionately known. Oh, it wasn't Logie Burr. I think it was France. Jacob France gets over. Apologies, Jacob. Slightly quicker this time from Plummer, but the result is the same. It's amazing, isn't it, when you obviously had that conversation with Dave Gunning and just said, well, you started. So he's completely changed his run-up.
To Dave's credit, he's gone to him and he said, look, this is the way I'm seeing it. And this is the way I'm going to keep officiating it. So you either change or you're going to get charged down. And he's done well there, but, he might get a few more opportunities to have a crack at goal.
Well, fire cannot burn without oxygen, and Brighton are just taking the oxygen out of this Burnside side. Good. Gets away from a couple, a little bit isolated. It's a really good place, considering. Huge clean out. McCarthy to Butler. Phillips, it's a high one. Doesn't even notice. Butler again far too upright. Priestley trying to find a way through, and again holds his feet for long enough to get his support there. McCarthy will find Jenkins. Jenkins, kind of aimless kick, but they had the advantage anyway for the high tackle. I
can see what he was trying to do there. There was a fair bit of acreage over in that 22, the 40, but I think he might not have put enough on it. But look, you're going to get another crack anyway from the penalty.
It's worth having a look at it. It's a very, very tough skill, that crossfield kick. It's tougher than people realise.
It's especially when you're taking the ball at first receiver and you've got a whole defensive line running at you, looking to absolutely obliterate you, and you've got to kick it across field. It's a really hard skill to execute.
So Brighton will have the line out. It's another change. Kieran Brown's going to come off. That is not Christopher Walton who's come on. So Brighton have just chipped away at that Burnside lead.
There's one thing about Brighton is for 80 minutes they don't go away, and they don't go away until you've literally finished them off.
Been stung into action. That's almost very, very good from Samuel again. This is a proper plays like a back rower, Fred Samuel at times. McCarthy will find Gerd. Gerd out the back to Plummer, to Jenkins. Jenkins over the top. A flip to nobody. Green is saying that he went early. Brighton are going to get. Brighton are going to get it. I think it was knocked on into touch. Essentially, I mean it's 50-50.
50-50. I mean, he was going to get the ball anyway. If Sus sort of got him a bit early and maybe pushed that, yeah,
Good
there
line
might be
out
a
again
case.
from Brighton. Plummer in midfield has Gerd on his outside. Gerd will just put his head down. McCarthy, Plummer again. Oh, he's found nobody, and off Rahui. The boy has no regard for his own body. Absolutely no regard for his own body. I only think that he's come from an offside position, though. I don't quite know where we've got offside. Kyra Hui has absolutely no regard for his. I mean, like, he's a young boy. He's going to be in a wheelchair by the time he's 26. I mean, I don't know. Is that not open play?
Yeah, it's a tough one. There's actually a lot going on there, you know. Obviously,
He's got him from coming for an offside position. So Wilkes will take another shot at goal. So they've both fallen on it, and then when does the offside line appear?
to be honest, that was a super duper quick ruck.
Yeah. It can't be a ruck because there's no players over the top of it.
Look, I thought that ball was still in play and it was just bobbling around. And if he'd given it an extra split couple of seconds, might have just been able to unfold the way it was meant to rather than jumping in there. But look, that's the way it's officiated.
The sole arbiter of time and fact. He is. After a little bit of a shaky start, Ed Wilkes is striking them sweetly now. 23 points to 19.
Interesting there that they went for the points, didn't back themselves there to go to the line, down and drive, because they've just only put themselves 4 points in front.
Ahead. But it's more than a penalty. It's going to force.
Yeah.
You're asking Brighton to break down their defence, and if you trust your defence,
trust the process, Dave.
Just a couple of passes from two of our superstars, really not finding a target. He looped over the top, and Jack Butler very nearly found it, so it's knocked forward into touch.
You can see my dad over there on the far side. Still managed to make it out.
Did you get him a gig in the VIP tent?
No, I didn't actually. He sort of just...
Is he just hanging around?
He's just hanging around, looking for the off chance of a beer there. Yeah.
Just on the right side of the loaded steel sign, shielding his eyes. It's another one who doesn't realise that if you come over here, you can see perfectly.
He'll probably call me after and ask who won.
That's the sign of a good afternoon. Burnside will steal one. Marshall. He's never going to take a backward step. Blair Marshall, Immelman, Fred Samuel. So we approach an hour. It's been a really good game by two really good teams. It's going to put him under pressure. He's done very, very well. Eli Ipper was there to meet him. Good rugby all round by everybody. Great tackle by Eli Ipper as well. McCarthy will find Gerd. There are acres of space. I do love how animated you get when you see space.
I just love seeing space. As a kicker, I just love a little bit of space.
Oh, it's stolen! Kyria! Can he get away? He gets away from one. Satala manages to get him.
Oh.
That is a big, big contact. I think he's going to... Penalty. Kyria might be in a little bit of trouble here. That's a wonderful intercept. But you'll see with the tackle from Satala, like I've said all day, this pitch is not soft. That is face first. A great interception though.
He's done really well to
Great
pick that
hands.
off. Just not enough there to get away from Jack Jenkins.
But he gets away from Jack and then Sus. Oh, that's not an easy watch. These boys are hitting hard. Jack, I mean,
There's going to be some sore bodies tomorrow.
there will be some sore bodies tomorrow. And do you know what? It's good for South Australian rugby. They're ready. Driving maul is starting. Fred Samuel has ball at back. Sambrook will work his way through. They've gone over and they score again.
That's textbook for them.
Textbook.
You would not have that any other way there. They've just back their structure, down, bang, drive,
There
build
has
off.
been a resurgence in the driving maul in 2021, and that's about as good as it gets. You watch Butler, who's on the right-hand side of the maul. He's come right around the side, but they've just kept their shape, kept their structure. They've splintered Burnside, and there's no one there. I mean, at that point, you've got to have your backs coming in and joining it, and they...
If Butler at fly half is the closest defender, you're in trouble there.
Yeah.
You know, they've just sucked everyone in.
Yeah, and Plummer had to come across, and there was a winger who didn't really know what all that fuss was about. Wilkes again. Lovely old-fashioned ball setup as well. Yeah. Pick a tee up, Edward.
He's
Absolutely faultless after a slow
on
start.
fire, this bloke.
30 points to 19, and again, Burnside. It's every time Brighton get close and feel like they're getting into it, Burnside will just drop a gear and move away again. They are playing within themselves. High hanging kick. It's gone over the back, and I think it's Marshall who's come down with it. Lamsam. We'll find Ellis, Immelman. Burnside now starting to build. Immelman will come out the back to Kyria. To Eliepa! He has found an absolute acre of space. Now he's got to try and hold his feet for his support to get there. He does. Ellis, they have to go. They've got double blues out to this side. They have to go, and they have to go quick. Immelman. Kyria. Hodel. Kyria will decide to step inside. Looks for the offload. Gets the offload to Immelman. Immelman has to die with it. Butler gets hands on. Off the feet of Kyria. Samuel has to tidy it up. It's all got a bit mucky. Plummer plays dead. Ellis. Oh, head down, head first. Immelman again. Lamsam. Couple of steps. Kyria, Eliepa. Brought down again, Immelman. Far side again to Wilkes. Such a strong runner. Immelman. There's a Brighton player stuck in midfield. Doesn't look overly well. He's right in the path of play at the moment. That's a massive hit from Butler and Phillips. Hodel has to go, and Phillips will make another challenge. Immelman will find Wilkes. Wilkes will just look for some space back at the ruck. Immelman. Now the Burnside are trying to keep it tight. Hodel has to go and get it. "15 minutes to go. It'll be a long 15 minutes for them to try and see this one out, Burnside. Immelman looks left, then comes right to Kyria, to Eliepa. Eliepa out to Green. Green will reverse the field and go back inside, much to the frustration of Elioppa. Fancied himself 1-on-4. Logan Brown's done absolutely amazingly. Saying hands on the ground. I don't know why Lamsam wants to go quick. Leave the ball in the hands of Ed Wilkes. Is this the Elioppa break? I mean, he's just... The old Matt Romano Manu covered in spiders. I mean...
I know a lot of Burnside people probably won't like me saying this, but this bloke should be playing in the Eastern States. 100%.
How old is he?
Oh, 21 maybe.
Yeah.
Like that, just that attack of the line is amazing. Just the intelligence of him.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't seen any of his last 4 kicks go over the posts. He's known the moment it's left his foot. This is where most of the teams in South Australia have to sit up and take notice. Leon Immelman got to be early 20s. Kyria got to be early 20s. Elioppa, early 20s. This backsline is going to be around for a long, long time.
I think you get the right mix of your older guys and your young guys that are sprightly, and the intelligence of the older guys. You can be a really dangerous team. And
I tell you what, there's been a maturity about Kyria today as well. He's kicked well, he's tackled well. Satala welcomes him to old man rugby. McCarthy, Plummer, Jenkins to Butler. Butler straight away. Flag is going up. I mean, Tremaine Butler could step you in a phone box, but if you don't give him any time and space, this is wonderful defence from Fraser Green. And I have to say, he's one who, the last couple of years, we probably questioned his defence, especially in his battles against Smoking Joe. Another maul coming from Burnside. And they've got this game on a string at the moment, Burnside. Couldn't come back with it that time though, so Brighton will have the scrum. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 11 minutes to go and change. Brighton, they've got a big hill to climb, because as we've said, every time they look as if they're going to start getting a little bit of momentum, Brighton will just find another gear. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I reckon there'll be a couple of people who wake up on Monday morning, Mr. Davizio, Mr. O'Callaghan, Mr. Bell. They won't want to see their credit card bill Monday morning, will they?
No.
I think there'll be some strong arm tactics to get those credit cards behind the bar tonight.
Yeah. Bad day to be a Coopers.
McCarthy just manages to get him. Fishwick absolutely nailed him from behind, and it's getting a little bit testy now. Plummer's decided he wants to get involved. Zach Ellis
Here we go.
Taking his headgear away. It's all a bit push and shove at the moment. Nothing serious. We did talk about rivalry, didn't we? We talked about rivalry. It's still not finished. Peacemakers are trying to make peace. Burnside crowd are all over it. It depends on what people have seen. I didn't see anything big. There was a lot of posturing. I didn't see anything that...
a lot of push and shoves. Didn't see anything.
You shouldn't have showed me that. They should just show me smiling about it. I shouldn't be smiling. I didn't see anything major. I don't... Probably just shut everybody up. If you watch here on the offload, Reece Fishwick absolutely destroys him. I don't understand what started it though.
There.
And McCarthy just gave Immelman a push, and then Ellis came to his defence, and then there's a bit more pushing, and then Plummer came to his defence. And
there we go.
Ellis
That's
just
contact
steals
there.
his headgear. So I was watching the replay. I don't think anybody's come to sit down, have they? They've just told them all to calm down. Not out. Fraser Green will just send it back with as much interest as possible. Satala will turn and look and survey what he has in front of him. Plummer. I have to say, that's the most animated I've ever seen Joel Plummer.
Yeah, I've never seen him really get aggressive like that. He's so cool and calm. But
I didn't think that was actually him.
No.
Into midfield, big challenge in midfield. Both of these sides now got the blood up. Over the 10-metre line again, McCarthy to Butler to Fishwick. Just made a mess of it, Kyria. Satalo, short ball to Jack Butler. Just making a mess of the Rooks at the moment, Burnside. McCarthy into midfield. With a big, strong challenge. And geez, we talked about it in the ladies' game. They don't let you pass. You have to earn your way past the gain line, don't you? Which he does. Jeez, Fishwick flew into that. Plummer, Brown. Brown will go straight, and again he's stopped at the gain line. McCarthy, Satala, out the back. Green, and he's not put a foot wrong today, Fraser Green, defensively. France out the back to Plummer. Into midfield they go, and again another tackle behind the gain line. McCarthy to Butler. They'll find Fishwick. It's not going to go any further than that though. There's hands on. Sunbrook had hands on, enough to slow it down, but let it go. Penalty. I think it was the second. I think it's that whole second man in that Burnside have just struggled with on a couple of occasions. 6 minutes to go.
That's a better kick from him. Really backs his distance, but unfortunately that last kick before just backed it a bit too much on the angle and didn't put it out. But here, yeah, he's got the leg and he's really helped his side out, putting him inside the 22.
Well, they need to score on this phase, you would say, to give themselves half a chance. Is it 3 scores? My maths isn't good enough.
2 converted tries to draw. You have to check my maths there, anyone. But
somebody, I don't know. My rugby maths is shocking.
Let's say 3 tries will win it.
Kyria's come off. Well, I wouldn't say I agree with that decision. He's been absolutely outstanding today.
So Winston.
Good job, Winston!
Doesn't quite go to the hands of Priestley. Butler has to go back and get it. Maul has been called, you imagine.
Thank you. Whoever slow. Thank you. Cheers, sir.
Not not going to get it back. Talked about body language in the ladies' game. Obviously, the Burnside body language is all up and about. Brighton is still okay, but there's a little bit of finger pointing. And I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I've got 360 people watching. I think that's the biggest rugby union South Australia audience that we've had. So thank you very much, everyone who is there at the moment.
How good's that? While I'm here, I might as well make my shout outs now. A couple of my mates watching that rugby at home right now at the B-hole. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and I'll see you in about 30 minutes.
Near side, that's skewed off the side of his foot. Where's the bounce? And it's your day. It's your day. Chris Walton will make his way in. He is a man who has just had heartbreak after heartbreak. He has been the bridesmaid a million times, that young man. 2 years ago, he managed to get himself a medal, but I think this one, they have been as good as they can be all year round. Jaden Phillips will put the ball into the lineup. Zach Ellis managed to get a hand on it. Little knock on out the back. Kieran Sambrook just lost it forward.
I think they can smell it now, Burnside out there. They can smell it.
Not just them. I think there's a fair number of people away to my right who in about 3 minutes' time will rip the roof off the Ken Grayling stand. 2 minutes plus stoppages, and I don't remember a huge amount of stoppages. You've gone quiet because you've got to pick your 3, 2, 1, and it's a big ask.
I've picked my 2 and my 1, but I think we should do the 3. But it's tough because I think those 2 blokes probably could have got the 3.
Yeah, and McCarthy, Brown gets up to halfway. Chris Walton puts his head where angels fear to tread. He doesn't care. Gerd. Plummer. Jenkins. Out to Satala. Satala's going to look to find a way through. Can't quite find a way through. It's gone backwards. I think he's won it back. Nathan Satala. Penalty, he's not rolling away. For mine, look, Winston Kyria has been absolutely outstanding and played with a maturity way above what you would expect from his age. Ed Wilkes has been absolutely solid and dependable. The only blemish on his copybook is the first couple of conversions.
I think, yeah, he felt probably a bit shaky at the start, but he's come back tenfold, really, and he's really kicked them into a leading position, and probably maybe kicked them into winning a premiership.
If you've got somebody who can kick penalties the way that he does, then yeah, you're gonna struggle to beat teams like this, especially big possession teams like Burnside are becoming. Sam T will steal the lineup. Plummer to Butler. Again, he's just not given any room to work as Keanu Eliepa will swallow him up. Satala. Door is slammed shut. Zach Ellis pleading with the referee. Plummer again. McCarthy will go and get it. It has gone incredibly quiet to our right-hand side. And I think they all know.
I think it's starting to sink in for them what they've just achieved as a club.
And to be honest, it's it's a massive, massive day. And it is a Grand Slam, and it's the first time that we will have seen a Grand Slam which is 1s, 2s, 3s and women, and involving the women. The third grade have been up and about all year. They started the day off 10 o'clock this morning. Came back from behind. Phillips trying to find a way out. Priestley with an offload to Phillips. Jenkins. Green flew up out of the line. Elliippa comes across, textbook from Elliippa. Brown. And then Butler does manage to get a step inside. First time we've actually seen him get away from somebody. Satala looking for something somewhere. Nothing there. The women. Penalty to Brighton. The women shut out Old Collegians. Never looked like losing. The reserve grade, probably one of the hardest fought games we've had today. They won that one, 3 from 3. There was nerves at the beginning of this one for the Burnside faithful. Could they make it 4 from 4? Could they complete the Grand Slam? They have answered that question with interest. Another penalty. McCarty to Plummer, to Butler, to Satala, to Jaden Phillips. Probably the wrong decision from Jaden. Brown. And again, we are into red time, and their close defence is still as hard and as fast as it's been. There's been penalty after penalty. Logan Brown trying to get away through. Can't quite get away through. They are short again. They're burrowing. Not going to give up. McCarty short again. He's tried to find a way through. Just short. It's going to come back their way again. This time they do get over and the arms go up. Probably no more. Probably no more than a consolation. Settle down, Mr. Blair Canvas Marshall. Dave Gunning wants his moment in this. Oh, someone's going to be yellow carded for the end of it. Just penalty after penalty, really. We're probably done for the time. In their 75th year, Burnside have conquered everything before them today. And in 2021, somebody tipped this, I kid you not, about a month, 2 months back. Somebody very much in the know, I won't name them, but somebody very much in the know, saw them play 2 months back and said, they are untouchable. And the performance last week in the semi-final and the performance this week in the grand final has been nothing short of dominant. And it is Blair Marshall who'll end the game in the naughty chair.
I think they set the tone super early in terms of their women's game. You'd see them all rock up, and they weren't here to win 1 or 2. They were here to win them all. So you got to take your hat off to Burnside. It's a feat that doesn't really get achieved much. So as much as it pains me to say, you know, congratulations to them, and they've done so well, and they should be really proud of their efforts as a club.
And Brighton have played well. Some of the people in the comments saying Brighton have played well. They have played well, and again, no team in South Australia is going to come close to Burnside when they're in this form. Lamsam into the 22. Can they put a cherry on top of the cake? Excellent work. I think that's Reece Gerd. Defensively, absolutely outstanding, and that is an incredible jackal. Gone forward. Lamsam will drop on it. Immelman out to Elliippa. Elliippa will kick it away. Mr. Gunning will bring an end to proceedings. 2021, the 75th year of Burnside Rugby Club, sees them do the Saturday Grand Slam. Ladies and gentlemen, Parkinson Oval will be the place to be tonight. 33 points to 24. Been an absolutely wonderful day. Ladies and gentlemen, what we will do is Alex and I will step out. We're going to leave you with the live pictures, but we will step out. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an incredible day of rugby. Some of the best rugby I've seen in South Australia played. Alex, your final thoughts?
It's a tough one, but just watching the whole day, it's just been great as a bloke who loves South Australian rugby, just to see the level that teams have come and played at today, and just to see a club like Burnside do so well, you got to be happy. So looking forward to next year.
I tell you what, you will have seen it. There would be times that you would have gone back to the club, your women would have won the premiership, and you went down and you would have gone back to the club, and there just would have been a little piece of you missing.
Yep.
You know, year on year, the third grade. Last year, Brighton won the premiership and the third grade missed out. There would have been a little piece missing. Not tonight. Parkinson Oval. Parkinson Oval, the jigsaw is complete.
You'll remember this one for life, I think, if you're a Burnside supporter or a Burnside player. It's something pretty special.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the sun sets on the 2021 season, that has seen its fair share of ups and downs, but the biggest up of all is Burnside sweeping all before them at Bailey Reserve. I've been Dave Webb. Hopefully I will speak to you again next year. I love you all. Thank you for spending your time with us. Good afternoon and good night.